Hey everybody, I want to show you how to make the best two-framer that you could possibly make. Even with professional tools, I think they turn out pretty good. I'll show you some examples because I don't want you to make the same mistake as I did. Anyways, this is what I started out with. A little 3-frame box. You can lay the 3 frames in it. Put a little top on it, and it's got a little opening for if you want to raise queens. It's a lot of work putting these together. They suck. They don't work with a darn. Here's another method that I've tried. They call this a queen castle. You got your 4 dividers. Got an entrance on each side, like if there's an entrance down the bottom on here. You would have an entrance down on the bottom on this one, and all the way around you'd have a different entrance in a different direction. This method here doesn't work. Believe me, it does not work. You have to have 4 separate lids. They're kind of small. Getting your hand in here, cleaning up. The bees don't like to be next to each other like this. You gotta have, like I say, you gotta have 4 separate lids. You gotta hold 2 frames, but 2 frames is extremely tight. There's not much room to barely get them in and out. So that sucks. Sorry about that. That sucks. So let me show you something else here. Anyways, this is another way. This actually works. You see the lines? Okay, I don't have to have lines on mine. I got a table saw, and usually I'll run a single blade right here. This is a dado blade, so you can run it. And I got my jig set up to the back right here, and it's clamped down, so I got my measurements are just perfect. Let me fix it just a little bit. So anyways, what you can do is run a single blade on your saw. You divide this into 4, this 10 frame. What you're going to do is you'll run it this way and cut this side. You'll flip it over. You can cut this side here. And what's going to happen is you're going to get four sections. When you cut this all the way around, you'll have this side. Then all you have to do is put another side on it. That'll give you a 2 frame. But each section is identical in width. So you'll have these right here, which is 2 pieces, and you'll have the other 2 pieces on top once you run each side through the saw. So after you cut that down, I'll take this jig. Let me back up. When you run it, the table saw, because of this side has a different measurement from here to here, you'll cut these 2 sides off first. Then you'll have the 2 center sections. Then I'll put a jig, which is my jig. All I do is set it right here. There's your jig. You can run it this way, like that, and get you the identical space. So this creates the exact same size of every little piece. That gives you 4 2-framers. So I stopped doing that because this is the final product of what I've cut down. You'll have to buy wood to go on each side of what you cut, which is good. That's fine. I mean, if you want to make 2-framers, you got to get wood somewhere. But I buy 1x6s, 16 feet, and then I'll trim each one down through another table saw to make sure they're straight. And then I'll put them together, but you have to make sure that these 2 bores, after you've cut them down and straighten them, are what height that you want your box. And I try to stay right exactly what a store-bought 10 frame would be deep which is like 9 7/8. I don't add a bottom. So this way works good if you want to do it this way. But I go to a sawmill and I get this is actually cypress, believe it or not. This is cypress right out of the sawmill. I've done a little work to it. I've planed it down. I've made my groove on top. If you can see, I'm not sure, but you can see that groove. See, it's identical to what's on the 10 frame box. You can put your dado blade on, which I like. I get this from Lowe's, and Irwin makes it. So what I like to do is I get the length of my box, which is the same height, right? 9 7/8, and I'll cut it through a table saw of my planks. I'll cut the length first, I'll run it through another table saw, and I'll get the width. So the width of this is just a hair bigger, wider than if you were to cut this 10 frame box divided by 4. So that's perfect for a 2 frame box. So after I've got my length, cut it on a table saw or a radial arm saw, however you want to cut it. I'll run it through another table saw and get my width. Then I'll take it and I'll come over here and I'll run it through my dado blade. And that's where you get the groove. This cost me about 10 cents to make. It's a lot cheaper than cutting a 10 frame box down. You still got to buy your sides or whatever, but go to your local sawmill, see what they have. It's going to be rough cut. I buy it. I got a planer. I plane everything down if I want to, or I might plane one side just so I could, you know, build it. And everything's flush and smooth, and I glue and I screw. So after you get these done, this is what it looks like. I've got 2 ways you can do the entrances. That's the final product, and that's using. This is all store-bought, but this is what I'm going to start using for my. You can see that they're just a hair wider, and it gives the bees just a little bit more space. You can make your box, put your sides on. I like handles. You can see they're just scrap wood that I've cut lengthwise, and they're nice and thick. You can put your lid down on it like this right here. The lid is just a little bit wider than the box. It's got my feeder hole in it. You can put 2 screws right here on your handles for transportating, which is perfect. And here's the entrances I was telling you about. You see there's no, these 2 are identical. The only thing difference is you can run a wire. See the wire? If you want to run a wire as a landing ramp, or you can give them a 1-inch of board as a landing ramp. I like to put a little board underneath the bottom of the board to keep it from warping. But all these like to hang out here and hang out here. You could do it this way. It's whatever you like to do. You can run the wire, see? And if you want to pick up the box, you can fold the wire down, and that's perfect. It's easy for transporting. I like this method, but I'm kind of on the fence about this method and this method of the landing ramp. It's just a little bit more work to make it a little longer and add this part, but you still have to cut a piece of wire, tell me you want to move it and put them down. I think I'm going to go with this method. Bees like to tend to get under the box. I like to see the bees in front of the box. This kind of helps them not want to go into the box. If they want to cluster, they'll cluster around here and protect the little entrance. So that's your choice. I do run both. I'm leaning to do more of, or most of all my 2-framers with the landing ramp. But I'll show you a finished product. And And I'm showing you these things because I don't want you to try something and it not work. I tried pretty much everything, and I know what works. I know what works good. The two framers, they work good. Here's a couple of finished products I got. And that's a finished product, painted, ready to go. It's got the groove, it's got the landing ramp. This is special kind of wood. It's concrete form board. You can probably get it at Dedance if you want. And it looks like this right here. You can put this on the bottom. It'll never warp. You can lay it on the ground probably for a year or two and it'll pick it right up. It's the same. Termites don't like it. But I don't normally run this at the bottom. I just had some scrap that I put at the bottom. But that's perfect. That's a 2-frame box. And so here's another one. You can paint them any color you like. Here's another one. It's got the entrance with no landing ramp. You can put that wire right here as a landing ramp if you want. And then if you want to take it somewhere, you can fold it right up. When you get there, I use little shortest J21 staples I can get. And I'll just put a couple in there to transport. When I get there, they come right out. And you can fold it right back down and set it down wherever you like to go. 2 framers. They work good. 2 frame in the box. You got a little extra space. Instead of being so tight that you can't get the frame out. My newer stuff is just a hair wider than this one. So you're going to have that even more little tiny extra space on each side of these frames. So if you're behind or that queen has just blowed this box up, this is actually, with the amount of space, even though it holds 2 frames, this is actually a darn good 3-frame box, even with 2 frames. So, you know, you can take your queen out and sell it or whatever, or you can take one of these frames. If you take a queen out, they make queen cells, you can go back in this box in 6 days. You may get lucky, you may have 2-3 queen cells on each frame. You can take this frame right here and put it in another 2-framer right here, see? Put in another 2-framer. Start you another queen box, and then you just put your new foundation in here and let them raise a queen. So I don't want anybody to make mistakes like I did. I've lost a lot of money. I've made a lot of money. Here's another one I got right here. You can paint them any color. Like I said, I like different colors, but this is the one with the landing ramp. This is actually what I'm gonna go with. So it's 2-frame box, got the handle, it's painted different color. Queens orientate where they live with color and shape and that kind of stuff and location. But I like this. So there's 3 or 4 different ways to raise queens. This is the best. I cut my sides. I use wood glue. I screw 1 screw. Maybe a couple of staples to hold it in place with some wood glue, and then I'll come back and I'll put my screws in. And this box is not going anywhere. This is extremely heavy. It's actually as heavy, almost as heavy as a 10-frame box. It's pretty sturdy, and it's not going nowhere. So good luck. Make you some 2-framers, raise you some queens for yourself or to sell. So don't make the same mistakes I have. If you got any questions, hit me up. Give me a thumbs up. That just shows that I getting some response out there and people like my idea. Makes me feel good. I appreciate everything that I receive and hear. And so, all right, good luck. I made it through Hurricane Michael, so I'm still breaking every box I have down until the end of this month, which is in about another 2 weeks or so. That'll give these 2-framers time to raise themselves a queen, and I will pull these boxes through the winter. So, good luck.